Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and get started then. We're going to waste no time tonight. Alrighty, tonight, it's, we always game on, or we always stream some content either on Sunday or also on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. With this upcoming holiday weekend, obviously a bit up in the air. We don't know if we are going to, be streaming on, Thursday is actually Thanksgiving Day. I don't think too many people are going to have time for our gaming. So we may not be gaming on Thursday. We may not be gaming on Sunday because that's still kind of the weekend. We definitely wanted to run something today on Tuesday. So I thought I would hop on real fast and run a quick game of our favorite little silly game, Cold War General, which is an edition of People's General published by SSI. Oh God, when was it? Way back in 1997, I think. Alright, so some people have been coming up, obviously, like right here we see Robert Mary has been coming out with new editions for People's General. He's got like 10 of them at least. And one of them, of course, is Cold War General. Cold War General is a fun little mod you can use to have, pretty much Cold War gone hot games starting in 1955 to like the mid-80s or so. That's kind of the range that you get with the equipment and scenarios that you're able to play in Cold War General. Oh no, I'm out of coffee. Alright, before I lose my voice again. Okay, so we're going to be taking, oh yeah, there it is, 1997, SSI. We're going to be taking a look at Cold War General with a scenario I whipped up super fast right before our stream. The Soviets have invaded at the Panama Canal. We're going to see how this goes. So the idea for this game is, pretty simple. The Panama Canal, if you, for people here or for the United States economy and geostrategic situation in general, is probably even more significant to the Americans than the Suez Canal is to Great Britain and other parts of Europe. Sound is good. Music not nearly as cool as the original. Oh, cool. Oh, that's you're talking about Panzer General. What? That's going way back. That's a deep cut. The old Panzer General music. No, this is from some different games that came afterwards. Okay, so anyway, what we're kind of envisioning here, obviously it's a hypothetical game. It's May 1977, and the Soviets have managed to get a small force into Panama. Now that sounds kind of crazy, but remember, this is the late 70s. So we have the Sandinistas getting started in Nicaragua. We have the FARC leftist guerrillas in Colombia, which is obviously right next door to Panama. And of course we have Castro still really strong in Cuba. So let's just imagine that things in the late 70s are going really bad for the Americans. They were going pretty bad as I remember. Let's just say they're going really bad. And the Russians have gotten ballsy enough to take a swing at the Panama Canal. They're not invading Germany. They're not invading the United States. We're not doing Red Dawn here. That kind of stuff even strains the limits of hypothetical credulity. But, who knows? Maybe with the oil crisis getting started there in the late 70s, the Soviets hope to choke off the Panama Canal and maybe, force the Americans to make some concessions elsewhere in the world. The Americans have to respond right away, so we can't send in 7th Corps out of West Germany or, some huge divisions out of Fort Hood, Fort Bragg, Camp Lejeune, Camp Pendleton, stuff like that. They pretty much have to fight with what they have. So we're assuming, just for fun, that Nicaragua pretty much was a communist country back then, so was Cuba. Colombia has gone fully communist. The FARC guerrillas have won that war down there in the 1970s in Colombia. And with Colombia right next door to Panama, it's a little bit more easy now to suddenly imagine the Soviets getting some light armor and some mechanized infantry into Panama. So I'm setting the Soviet player as AI. I'm setting myself as the human player, obviously. Okay. Let's see what we have here. I don't think you guys are terribly interested in me going through all the forces that I arrived. I set up 3 battalions of T-80 battle tanks. Although, yeah, T-80s were around in 1977, barely. Gotta remember, guys, the T-80 is not the Russian name for that tank. That's our name. That's the NATO name. The Soviets called it the T-74. because it came out in 1974. The T-80 is a little older than most people think. All right, so again, for the Soviets, we have I have just off the top of my head. I know I'm not going to like open up the scenario design and show everybody, but they have 3 battalions of T-80s, for lack of a better term, 2 regiments, so that's 3 battalions each, of motorized infantry, motorized rifle regiments. I should say 2 motorized rifle regiments of 3 motorized rifle battalions apiece. You know, your usual 1975 Soviet Cold War infantry in BTR 60s. An SA-8 Shilka, an SA-8 Gecko, SAM battery, ZSU 23-4 Shilka battery for air defense, because the Americans do have some air units in play here. 50-50 air superiority. Both sides have equal air superiority, which I know is not usually the Oriskany model, but it's just a game, and not even a terribly sophisticated game at that. And I think that's about it. And some Hind gunships, because why not? The Americans have 3 battalions of the new, or not the new, the old and kind of upgraded M60s. The best M60s the game would allow me to buy at this date, the M60A1, which I don't even get the reactive armor panels on. My tanks are markedly inferior to the Russian tanks. I do have some kick-ass infantry. I have 5 battalions of pretty solid American 1970s infantry. I gave them enhanced ammunition to fight infantry with, and I gave them anti-tank capability to fight Soviet tanks with. So they're all packing Dragons. Obviously, this is way before the Javelin comes out. So we're looking at old, old Dragon anti-tank guided weapons. They're still, rolling around in M113s because 70s. I have VODs, and I have some light infantry, like some Rangers, running around in Jeeps. And of course, no Apaches, because again, 1977, but one small unit of AH-1 Cobras with TOW anti-tank missiles. Kind of your standard-ish Team Yankee army, maybe Team Yankee the prequel. So we're looking at M60s and Cobras instead of M1 Abrams and Apache. Excuse me, M1 Abrams and Apaches. So we're gonna let the Soviets go first. The Soviets are the Soviet AI is now taking its turn. We're looking at my force now. I'll show you guys what's going on as soon as the AI player gets done with its turn. Well, actually, I can do that while the AI is taking its turn. Okay, the AI has finished its turn. Okay, so here's the strategic map, super fast. Today's stream is going to be super quick, guys. We're just playing around here, to help out with the schedule. Again, later on in the week, it's going to be Thanksgiving weekend, and actually our normal general show Thursday is on Thanksgiving itself. So again, who knows? I'm not sure what the streaming schedule is going to be like later on this week. Definitely didn't want to miss today. So we're looking at the Pacific side of the Panama Canal, and up here we have, of course, the Caribbean side of the Panama Canal. The Americans are in the north, the Soviets are in the south. They have this little airfield here. Again, Colombia is right off the right-hand side of the map. So between Colombia and Panama, well, there's really nothing. The two countries share a border. But along that border region is a famously, or an infamously, very trackless. There's no roads, there's no rail lines, there's no ports. It's a very difficult place to get through. It's almost like primeval down there. But Soviets have these things called engineers. They have vehicles, they have ships, they have aircraft, especially in the late 70s. Soviet geostrategic airlift capability wasn't bad. It wasn't as good as the Americans, but they could have put an understrength division, assuming that they had ground bases in Colombia, which of course historically they didn't. But in our little made-up world that I created about 16 minutes ago, the Soviets have actual forward bases in Colombia, kind of like they have in Syria today. So once the Soviets get boots on the ground, and more importantly engineers with shovels in the dirt, a lot more things become possible. This is one of the reasons why historically the Americans kept such a close eye on Colombia. It wasn't just the drug trade. Once Colombia goes, and in the 70s and 80s, Colombia was in the grip of a three-way civil war. once Colombia goes, the Panama Canal is up for grabs, and the Americans cannot abide that. The Americans flinch when the Panama Canal gets threatened the same way the British do when the Suez Canal gets threatened. So again, we have our Americans in the north and the Soviets in the south. They have this little air base down here. The game does have fog of war mechanics, so it's not showing me anything of the Soviets. I do have one tiny force of Soviet infantry that has poked his head out of the trench so far. So we'll see what's happening there. Click out of strategic map, back into tactical map. Again, we see my 3 M60s, or my 3 M60 battalions. I gave them enhanced anti-tank capability, enhanced ammunition for anti-infantry work. So they're carrying sabot rounds and those flechette rounds, HE frags, stuff like that. Again, it's only the M60A1. I'm not sure why the game doesn't let me buy M60A3s. And yet the Soviets get their early T-80s. So, long story short, you know what to do. Yeah, I need to watch out for Soviet tanks. Soviet tanks are better than mine, and they have just as many. My infantry are better than theirs, my helicopters are better than theirs, my air defense is better than theirs, and so on. But, yeah, their tanks are actually better than me. So, this is Panama, so it's thick jungle in May. These roads are definitely important. Off-road capability is really limited in this scenario. So for now, I'm going to get us started with, I don't know enough about what's going on. These are my light rangers in a Jeep, and they pretty much spotted these Russians coming up the road here on foot. So I know there are some Russians down there somewhere. Air recon doesn't cost me very much. I'm going to go ahead and fly an air recon mission this way. Soviet air defense! Just shot the hell out of my AWACS. Oh man, but before he went down, he spotted everything. Okay, cool. What's the range on this SAM battery? This is the SA-8 Gecko. This is the Warthog killer. This is what Warthog pilots back in the 70s and 80s feared the most, the SA-8 Gecko. This thing was made to knock down Warthogs, so I gotta be careful with my close air support. It has a range of 6 hexes. Oh my god. Alright, so we can shoot a long way. I'm calling it an actual airstrike now. That Gecko is pretty far off. So I'm going to go ahead and drop an airstrike here on this forward vanguard of Soviet infantry just to kind of smack the nose off of them. It looks like it's going to give me one American casualty point versus 9 Soviet casualties. Now that's not going to happen because it's subject to Soviet air defense. The Shilka is out of range, but that Gecko, it's at the extreme limit of its range. So that Gecko is going to get a swing at me, as I think my F-15 Strike Eagles go in there. So let's see what happens. F-15, baby! Do it! That's not bad. Knocked them down to 2. Kill them. Kill them. Chase them away. Alright, now those 55 Rangers, I bought them because I had like an extra 100 points at the end of my order of battle. They're pretty much throwaway units. They're there just to keep the Soviets on this side of the river until I can get my forces better deployed. Because they're pretty solid, you know, hauling ass up this road. My guys are not so well deployed at the moment. It's going to take my tanks a little while to get organized. Like I probably shouldn't have just done that. Notice these guys have to take their whole turn just to get on the road. This is heavy Panamanian jungle here. So, ooh. Kill that guy anyway. I'm being a little too aggressive here. Kill them. There we go. One pro tip in this game, don't ever leave a wounded unit if you can possibly help it. Because this game has a replacement mechanic. And what they'll do is they'll just you can get a unit down to 1 out of 10. Units usually run from 1 to 10 in strength. And, yeah, once that happens, man, he will get my helicopter up a little bit. Go, Cobras! Now I'm a little strung out on this road, which is not good. Yeah, I probably was a little too aggressive. What I will call it if I have the points left, which I think I do, a small defensive support. It cost me 6 of my air support points. I'm using up my air defense quickly. So we got some F-15s flying a high cap over the lead vanguard of my little mechanized infantry column there until the rest of the tanks and the Apaches can get, or not the Apaches, and Cobras can get up there for some better defense. Also, I kind of have crap air defense. My air defense is way the hell back here. So Soviet air power is going to hammer me next turn. Number one, there's a Hind right there, and number two, he's going to call on his own, you know, MiG-23s and stuff like that. He's just going to blow the crap out of me. So I'm trying to get at least some air protection over my column here. All right, let's pray. We're going to take a little bit of a beating here. Let's see what happens, and we'll also see what's going on in the chat. Oh, the game lasts 10 turns. We're now beginning turn 2. Air defense, it helps. Jen, to answer your question in the chat, a Gecko is not the Russians' name for it. You will see in Soviet air defense systems, whether it's man-pads or vehicle-based or even just stationary, it's Gainful, Gecko, Grail. Pretty much if it begins with a G, you know that it's a Soviet air defense system. There are anti-tank missiles, on the other hand, or Spandrel, Sager. They always begin with an S. So that's how that works. They are technically not the, you know, who would name a vehicle after the Gecko? Technically nobody. That's an American, or technically it's a NATO. It's a NATO code name. Oh no. Okay, I lost my my expendable infantry. My 75 infantry, 1975 infantry with the M113 survived with 1 point left. Thank God. Get back here and I will rebuild him later. With luck. At least I hope so. Alright, what can I call in? Suddenly I'm not doing so well. I have 18 air support points. I gotta call in another airstrike. I tell you what, I got my money's worth out of that defensive air support. Do it. There we go. That was good. That was good. Why can't I engage that? Okay, I guess I don't have. I guess you can't shoot through an enemy unit. Kill them. Again, he's down to 2. I'm trying to make sure he doesn't survive. Because if he survives, he's just going to rebuild. Meanwhile, conversely, I'm trying to protect my guy that's down to 1% here, or down to 1 point, down to 10%, so that he doesn't get slaughtered next turn. So I definitely want to block this battalion of Soviet motorized rifles trying to come up this river here. Yeah, my infantry is definitely better than his. My tanks, on the other hand, kind of suck. Alrighty. That's not what I wanted. Go back. Please destroy that tank unit. Sweet. Okay, we're doing a lot better this time, guys. I guess I just kind of gave away that I play tested this scenario a couple times. I straight out lost the first one. I'm not even gonna lie. Getting my odds up here. The second one, I wound up with a tie. I think I'm gonna wind up with a tie again. It's really tough for the Americas. I designed the scenario super fast. Each side only has one objective X, their respective airfields, on opposite ends of the Panamanian Isthmus. So, yeah, there's not a lot going on here. I mean, it's tough for either side to really get to reach the other guy's objective X. All right, I think I got number one here pretty well protected here. This unit that got the living shit shot out of it. Hogash Perspective says, hello from Italy. Oh, alright, holy crap, what time is it over there? It's 8 o'clock here, I think you're 6 hours ahead of us. Central Europe time, I'm assuming. So it's gonna be like 2, almost 3 o'clock in the morning over there. Hogash Perspective is apparently taking the night shift. Tanks where they can do some good. Now, in the past, I've almost lost my airfield, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. Once I can spare one unit to go back there, I'm going to post somebody back on the airfield. But right now, I got to win this battle at the crossing. All right, let's hope I can live long enough to save this guy next turn with the replacement phase. Let's see what happens. Air defense. More shoulders. If they just blow up, I just lost my matches with my Cobras. No, no, no! He's bombing my bots. He's not bombing my troops. Ooh. Okay, good news, bad news. I lost my Cobras. That's not so hot. Boom, they're repaired. Oh man, that was not good. No, I don't want to just send in more airstrikes because there's a Shilka now right down here, and we know there's that gecko. So if I send in, number one, even if I have any more air points, which I do, I don't think I want to send them in right now because they'll just get chewed up by that air defense. What I got to do is I got to get one of my tanks, hopefully. Of course, I can't do it. This terrain is brutal. I gotta get my tanks around and knock out that Shilka so I can bring in some air defense. A little bit more safely. Oh, what the hell with it. It's not even my unit. Oof. This is scary. 2 to 4. 1 to 4, huh? Let's get lucky. Get lucky. I got lucky. Alright, cool. We actually did some pretty good damage to that Soviet tank battalion there. And him I can reach. Oof. Do it. Alrighty. I wanted him to attack the Shilka. There's 2 more battalions of Soviet infantry coming in on my left flank here too. I gotta watch out for them. But it's way too I'm trying to leave this number 4 here He's down to 40% strength. I'm trying to leave him where no enemy units are adjacent to him at the end of the turn without him moving, because that means I can do replacements on him this turn. So I have to knock out this unit here, this 20% remnants of Soviet mortar rifles, and this 10% T-80 battalion down here. Are the two things I gotta do to carry off that plan. So destroy those infantry, please. Ooh, that's even better. Please do it. Nice. Now this guy can get replacements because there's no enemy unit adjacent to him. So supplies and replacements and reinforcements can get to him. Alright, what else is going on? Yeah, see, once that road gets clogged up, these tanks have a hard time moving off-road in the jungle. So I've moved him, There's something nasty down there. I don't know what it is yet. I want to take a shot at that Shilka. Now this battalion is going to get pretty badly shot up when these two guys come in on his wing. I can't really get too much support to him either. But you know what? The chance to knock out this many Soviet units early in the game is just kind of too good to be true, or too good to pass up, I should say. Yeah, those odds aren't good. So yeah, if you hover your counter over the enemy force that you are prospective to attack, it gives you like, you know, what their prospective casualties are. Now, right now, those are 2 battalions. I'm outnumbered 2 to 1 of Soviet motorized infantry, and they are in mountains. I am not in mountains. Oh yeah, I am. Yeah, so to dig them out of those mountains right now, it looks like it would be a bloody battle. I would lose 3, he would lose 2 in both cases, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make him come to me, and maybe that'll be a little bit better. Get some better air defense here. Then I gotta think about sending somebody up to that, back up to that airfield. Now, he hasn't done anything yet. Oof, yeah, I'm not doing that. 6 expected American casualties to 1 Soviet American casualty. Yeah, I don't think so. We're not doing that yet. I only have 3 air support points left. Yeah, I pretty much used up a lot of my air support early. But I'm pretty happy with the way that battle on the river crossing turned out. I took out at least the Shilka, 1 battalion of tanks, and I think 2 battalions of infantry, if not 3. So I'm doing pretty good on that part so far. I just lost track of that Hind. That Hind's gonna pop up over my airfield any minute, so I gotta start thinking about sending somebody back there. Oh well. Ooh, that's rainy night too. Alright, here, let's see what happens. Yep, there's the Hind. Russian tanks are trying to cross the river. Alright, let me see what's going on here in the chat. What part of the boot? The exact historical center. Oh, cool. Thank you for subscribing, Hogash. Super appreciate it. Oh, boy. Yeah, Hogash, we were actually, air quotes, in Italy just last night. Oh, I'm sorry, not last night, Sunday. We were doing part of the Battle of Monte Cassino. Alright, so his infantry came out of the woods there, or came out of the mountains there a little bit, beat up on my infantry pretty badly. But he took some pretty hefty casualties too. Tanks, I believe, can engage. Now, see, why can't I? Sometimes it lets me engage, sometimes it doesn't at range. All right, so I gotta get a little bit more serious here. First of all, Mr. Vods is gonna back up that thing to shoot down that helicopter. Okay, so I got 3 pretty fresh units. I'm going to hit him with infantry first. Fall back. Tanks. That did not go well. Come on, machine. Give me a break. God, that was a bloody ridge right there. Kill him, please. Thank you. This was crap, that was bloody. Alright, now these guys attacked, so I can't move with them. I'm going to move them back 1 just to clear the area a little bit. Get a fresh infantry unit up there. I gotta do something with these Soviets before they get across that river. That was not pleasant. Come on, infantry, you're supposed to have dragons. Take out some of these tanks. These Russians are pinned now halfway across the river, and I still can't get them. Order of Suvorov for this little tank battalion back here. He is attacked on 4 sides, and he's actually doing pretty well. Holy crap, that's not good at all. Alright, this turn was a little disappointing. I got 1 Russian unit destroyed. I haven't lost anything. But damn, dude. That number 3 is probably going to get bombed by a Soviet airstrike. Speaking of which, do I have any? I have exactly 6 points. Okay, I'm going to call in my last 6 points on a defensive air support mission. Get some Eagles over there to help them out. I'm not too worried about that Hind yet. He's not carrying any infantry, and I got my Vods on his way. That Vods will make a mess of him pretty quickly, I hope. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Alright, my Eagles took a beating. But that's what the Air Force is for. Saved my little infantry guy here, that's for sure. Elite replacements. Sweet. Shoot down some Hinds. There you go. It's 4 of them. 4 out of 10 shot down already. Good shooting, Tex. Yeah, I've got him trapped. Once he couldn't really get across, because once that tank like kind of escapes into this jungle back here, I'll never find him. I got hella lucky on that one. Not so lucky on that one. Yeah, I'm not gonna chase this Soviet infantry into these mountains too deep, because that's just crazy. Yeah, these guys never moved. There's because I'm trying to not allow them to... if I move this infantry battalion 1 hex south, he's going to open up to 2 hexes of... there's more Soviet stuff down this road. So I don't want to do that. At least now it's kind of choked off by his own Gecko there. He's going to have to redeploy that Gecko in order to... that Gecko battery. Now see him? This 8 battalion right here, I'm going to leave him where he is because again I don't want those T-34s. I wish. My problems would be over if those were T-34s. I don't want those T-80s breaking north into this backfield. I already have enough rear security problems with high-end gunships flying around and making all kinds of noise. Yeah, so a lot of my units did not move. I'm pretty much still in a containment phase. I'm going to go ahead and end the turn. Alright, Soviets are pulling back. As bad as we're hurt, they're hurt even worse. Except for this poor guy who can't pull back. I would rather use replacements on this guy, but I've got to, I gotta take out that tank. Cool. Move down a little. Not a lot. Just in case something stupid comes down the road. This tank's on high ground overlooking that road. This tank battalion's gonna get replacements. Rebuild my force. Rebuild my force. Notice it only went to 9. So we're now in the part of the game where I'm starting to run out of money. Depending on how badly beat up they are. I'm going to pause, basically. I'm going to take a day. Each turn is like 12 hours. I'm going to take about 12 hours to kind of rebuild my army. Dismount some infantry on this road. Okay, there's the Soviet base. It's almost in sight. There's a little bit of a street battle to get to it. Who knows? Maybe I'll reach it this time. Meanwhile, please shoot down more gunships. You didn't shoot down a single one. He's got plenty of ammo left though, so he can keep shooting. But that was disappointing. He was supposed to shoot down 3 a turn. He got 4 in the first turn. That turn he got 0. So, Mr. Vance, you suck. What else is going on? I only have 3 mission points because I've used up most of my air power. So I'll save it. I think I accrue more as the game goes on, but very slowly. Alright, cool, end turn. We're now on turn 7. Soviet turn's already over, they're not doing shit. Do something this time, Mr. Fox. There you go, we made up for lost time. We're back on our airfield, there's 1 hind left out of 10. Sweet. Rebuilt tank battalions coming down the road. This guy is going to get rebuilt this turn. Tanks, forward. Hey, there are the geckos. Holy crap, I'm fixed. Now, one thing that I'm a little... I don't want to say upset about, but one thing that doesn't make a lot... The game isn't perfect. I understand that, you know, it's Panama, which is very mountainous, very swampy, very dense jungle. Why tanks have a hard time coming off this road. However, my motorized infantry, or technically my mechanized infantry, because they're in M113s, they're in tracked APCs. My mechanized infantry have, you know, pretty good movement, whereas my tanks don't. An M113 is not that much faster than an M60. In fact, it really isn't at all. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm not going to complain when I blow up a gecko. Do it. I don't want your damn insurance. Right, now these guys are going to have to cross the river, but that apparently doesn't slow them down at all. Holy crap, I might actually do it this time. Take the Soviet air base, that is. There he is, Soviet air base. Now, there might be more hidden units in here that I don't know about, but I don't think there's too many. I've taken out most of his infantry, and I think at least 2, if not 3 of his, if not all 3 of his T-80 battalions. The only bad news is, number 1, I'm out of air support points, mostly. And I I'm out of air support, and I am, what's the word? I've lost my Apaches. That makes me angry. I shouldn't have lost my, not my Apaches, I keep calling them that. Lost my Cobras. Alright, day 8 of 10, Soviet turn. They're not doing shit. Have I wiped them out? Okay, before we melt this okay, well, let me do my house cleaning first. We have a hind problem back here at our airbase. Take care of that, exterminators. Missed again. Dude, this guy runs hot and cold, man. He either, like, slaughters or he just whiffs. He's fired now 4 times at that hind. How much ammo does he have left? He's got 3 shots left, 3 out of 8. So he's good for the rest of the game. Because the game's only got like 2 more turns now. I'll run out of turns before he runs out of missiles. But my point is, he's either shot down way more than he's supposed to, or he's completely whiffed. I should have some air support points now. I still have only 3. That's okay, because now what I want is recon. I want to know what's going on here. There's only that one little infantry unit left. Alright, boys, go get them. Kick them off that house. Occupy the Soviet hex. This should end the game for me. Western victory. Sweet, we actually did it this time. It took 3 tries, but I finally captured, I've successfully expelled the Soviets from Panama in this non-existent little game, and that automatically ends the game. Oh, there's one more Soviet unit way up here, lost in the mountains. What are you doing up there, man? You can't do any good up there. Okay, so that's going to be the beginning of the next guerrilla war, is trying to get all these guys, you know, rounded up before they start raising more Marxist guerrillas against me. Alrighty, so yeah, that was a quick, easy battle. Again, this is a nice, fun game. I never did manage to wipe out this this unit. Oh, by the way, an aircraft, like a helicopter, cannot occupy an objective X. Now, some helicopters carry troops, and the troops can occupy an objective X, like Airborne Rangers, Soviet Spetsnaz. There's some nasty options with that, and it's a lot of fun. It's complicated in this game. You want, when they're loaded, when they're not, when they're getting carried around, and of course helicopters are very vulnerable. So if you get really expensive light infantry like U.S. Army Rangers or Soviet Spetsnaz or who knows what, Israeli paratroopers in the Middle East, and you lose a couple helicopters, it sucks, man, because you're like, oh, dude. I mean, it's bad enough the helicopters, but those infantry are going down with them. That's not good at all. That's not good at all. So, yeah, I was just going to run a real super small stream today. Let's see here. Done? Yes, I'm done with that. So that was a victory. Obviously, this is the game that we're talking about. Cold War General by SSI. Or technically, People's General was by SSI. And all of these individual contributors, so to speak, have been adding all kinds of mods to it since then. So making a scenario in this game, again, I just don't want to, I'm not going to play another whole game here because I don't want to, be streaming for another hour or 2. Yeah, you can set up pretty much any kind of game you want. You set up a new scenario, let's say. Alright, check mark. They give you a bunch of maps. The one thing you don't really get is the ability to draw your own map. Apparently they're Windsor Castle. Who wants to blow up the Queen? They also have Washington. They have Washington. They have, I know they have New York City in here somewhere. London. But anyway, some of the maps aren't that serious. So you just grab a random map. All right, 1977. I know is a year that works. I'm not sure how far it lets you go. Oh, this is annoying. Can I go to 85? I don't know if I can go that far. And I'll let you know what I mean in just a second here. Polar conditions, I guess. Make it snowy. Ground conditions, it's snowing. Russians versus, I don't know. It may not take Russians, so I may have to set that up as Soviets. And yeah, there's a difference. East Germans. It's still Warsaw Pact era, so we'll put the Polish in there as well. And yeah, let's have the Germans in there. Germans. And some crazy shit. Not the Americans, we just played the Americans. The Dutch, because why not? Norway, we are up north. And Finland. Why not? I have no idea what I'm doing here. I don't even know if any of these units will work. That doesn't look like snowy weather to me, dude. Huh. Oh well. Let's look at our strategic map. So this is our general area. I guess that's supposed to look like Aachen in northwestern Germany. Very, very big battle there in World War II. Kind of far back in the NATO backfield. I don't think this would have been definitely would not have been one of the initial battles in any potential World War III scenario. Team Yankee, Red Army, Red Storm Rising, kind of a scenario. But who knows? Maybe a Soviet forward spearhead may have gotten this far. Or Soviet airborne troops may have taken some of these bridges in the anticipation of their spearheads, reaching that far, almost, bridge too far style. Now, before I get into this game is very, very fussy about the year and the availability of the units, so I might find myself frustrated in a minute. Yep, I'm frustrated. Notice how none of these things are available. Damn it, that's annoying. But the Polish are available. East Germans are available. Soviets are available. Not Russians. Okay, yeah, because in 1985 the Soviets were still a thing. Obviously, the Russians. Okay, that makes sense actually. T-3485. Holy crap. So you start off with a budget of 5,000 points. Again, you can adjust that up or down however you want, and you just start buying stuff. Let's say I want to make my Polish really elite. I want to make the best Poles I possibly can. I'm going to give them the better T-72s. Although the T-72M should be a little bit worse. T-72M, when you see the M on the end of it, guys, that's the export model. This is the native model. Why are these both 510 points? The T-72M should be a little bit less. They have the exact same numbers, so hey, whatever. Holy crap, I made them super elite. You can give them 2 stars of experience. Notice that jacked up their cost. Per battalion, they now went up to 765 instead of 510. Then I give them enhanced ammunition to increase their anti-infantry capability and their anti-armor capability. Then I give them anti-tank missiles, which, yes, remember, most Soviet tanks could fire anti-tank missiles out of their gun tubes. But that just makes them cost, oh my god, that thing's absurd. It's 865 points. All kidding aside, that's what the Polish army kind of looks like now. This Polish military nowadays has some pretty scary looking T-72s. A thing about wargaming in the modern era, just because the tank says T-72 does not mean it's a hump of shit. T-72s in the Gulf War, the Lions of Babylon, are not what you see in former Warsaw Pact, nowadays NATO countries like Poland. Those are scary tanks. They've been upgraded. They've got reactive armor panels. They've been replaced the guns, the fire control systems, the ballistics fire control computers. They're actually pretty good. I mean, for a T-72. I still wouldn't want to take them up against a Leopard, a Charlie 2, or an Abrams. But they're you know, T-72. That term T-72 nowadays covers a lot of ground. Same with T-64s. T-64 is a tank that people tend to laugh at, but don't. Because, man, T-64s, like the Ukrainians, their latest upgrades, the T-80s and the T-84s, are really good. They don't give them to their own army, though, because their country is run by some people that are more concerned with making money by selling them overseas, and they are equipping their own army that is engaged in the war in the east part of their country, but I'll get off that soapbox. So anyway, once you choose whatever weapons or whatever upgrades you want, if any, there's a weakness. It only has an ammo rating of 4. That sucks. Is there a thing I can upgrade with that with? I thought there was. Combat support. Yes, combat support. So I click on combat support and his ammo load went up to a 7. You can only give 2 upgrades to a unit. So you get to pick. Do I want the anti-tank missiles? That crank him his anti-tank value up to 29, which is impressive. But he only gets 4 shots before he has to rearm. Or give him actual combat endurance. You can give him reconnaissance abilities, which increases the range at which he dispels a fog of war. Combat engineer gives him some kind of kick-ass defense. Yeah, his defense goes up, I think. And that's his close attack. Close attack and close defense. Anti-air ability if you want. That's not really good for tanks. But anyway, yeah, you know, mess around. You can give him different things. Here's a really fun part of the game that I like. It's time-consuming and it has nothing to do with anything, but it's fun. So I would totally give this guy, what do we say, combat support. Yeah, he's an expensive unit. He's a 900-point tank unit almost, but hey, I'll go ahead and requisition him. Now I'm just get some basic. Oof, AT or AT2s. Oh, that's terrible. Then again, the old Warsaw Pact Soviets did not give the Polish the best stuff. Did they get any kind of vehicle? I guess Scout 2 AM is their vehicle. Yeah, they have a vehicle movement rate of 9. Okay, so I'm not familiar with a Scott 2 AM. I'm assuming that's some kind of armored car or light armored vehicle. I won't make them super elite. I'll give them some anti-tank capabilities, some anti-tank missiles. 22 anti-tank! Good grief. These things are awesome. And just as a cost-saving measure. A battalion, a regiment of 3 battalions. Who knows? I'm just playing around here. Air support. Apparently the Polish military does not get Hind gunships. Oh yeah, they do, right there. That doesn't really look like a Hind. You have to kind of forgive the game there a little bit. And so on. Some artillery maybe. Good old 122s, you can't go wrong with those. Already looked at armor. Aircraft. Light armor. PT-76, a BRDM-2 with Spandrel. Spandrel, that's nice. AT-5, that's a mean little anti-tank missile. 6 shots. I want that thing shooting longer. 9. That's a good weapon. Make him a little elite. And you just keep going until you run out of points. Again, I won't waste all the time here. ISU 152s. Why not? In fact, I'm going to make him hella elite. Because why not? A whole army of SU-152s. Okay, I'm pretty much bingo on points here. Maybe I've got some cheap... no command vehicles or anything? what all we got? I got 371 points left. Oh, Ashilka. I don't have any air defense yet. I don't want anti. It's still too expensive. Oh no! Alright. So there, I'm down to 33 points. So, okay, you built your army, no big deal. Then you set up your army. So, you know, again, I'm just going to throw some units down here, and you set up your tanks. Okay, then some, oh, my SU-1, my high SU-152s. Let's see what else do I got here. Oh, my little command vehicle. He's going to sit back there. I got 3 battalions of infantry. Oh, who knows? I'm putting things in the wrong place. So yeah, you set up your little army, like wherever you want. You got to pay attention to your objectives, your engagement zones, or whatever. I should say your deployment zones, where your objectives are. And again, in the scenario, you can kind of build that yourself. Like, I'm going to make this an objective that I have to hold, and it's also going to be a supply point. Or you can have a hex be just an objective, or you can have a hex just be a oops. Hold on. Whoa. What the hell, man? Oh, I think I broke it. Oh well, no we go. Gold is an objective hex, green is a supply hex, some of them are both. Yeah, and you just set up your map however you want. Again, you can kind of design your own scenario. But then the fun part, I think... Oh no, that's not what I meant. It won't let me pick back up again. What the hell? I don't want a supply hex there. Oh well, no worries. Go back to deploy units. Okay, there it goes, finally. Alright, so we have an objective hex, a supply hex, and a supply and an objective hex, are the 3 examples I was looking for before. Name unit. Who wants to command a T-72 battalion? Why won't it let me do that? Oh, come on, it's like the most fun. Oh, there we go. So who's in the chat here? Let's see here. I'm falling asleep. Bye, guys. Thanks for the ASMR experience. Wow, I've been called many things before. Hogash perspective, I've never been called an ASMR experience. Holy crap! Just for that, you get a T-72 platoon to command. This is let's see, a battalion. So we're gonna call it. In the Soviet military, a battalion is commanded by a major, believe it or not. Major Hogash's badass tanks or something. I ran out of characters. T-72 battalion. Cool, and that's now the unit name, and it'll display that like whenever you select that unit. So hopefully on the bottom of the screen you see Major Hogash T-72 battalion. That's fun in a live stream, guys. If we ever play a more serious game of this again, because then like everybody in the stream starts getting their own units, and it's like, oh my god, you start rooting for your guy and hope he doesn't get blown up. And no, don't send me into combat again. I've been in 6 battles. I'm down to 2 points. Use elite replacements on me. Help me, help me. Sorry, dude. You gotta take one for the team. Bite the pillow and think of England, and kaboom, the unit's destroyed. Or they're super heroic. They build up, if you play the campaign version, they build up experience, and before you know it, they have all these extra abilities and stars, and their numbers start to go up. It's a fun little game. Then, of course, you would make up a German force and an American force, or whoever the enemy is, and then you'd have a battle. You can either play, obviously, against a live opponent, or you can screw around and just set up the AI. The AI is not terribly great. It's not terrible. It's not terribly great either. When you're building this scenario, when you place your objective hexes, when you set up the enemy's objective hex and when you set up your objective hexes, you can kind of predict what the AI is going to do. Because the AI is governed by the basic logic of protect his objective hexes and attack yours. So you can kind of shape the battlefield that way. That helps you trying to create historical scenarios. I've used this to create actual Middle East battles, real ones, 1967. There's a Napoleonic version of this, believe it or not. I've used that to create Waterloo. We played Waterloo on the anniversary, June 18th, of Waterloo, here in this basic system. As crazy as that sounds. And by carefully setting up where the objective hexes are, you can get pretty, you know, we played the British and we made Napoleon the AI. It pretty much did the same thing Napoleon did, by carefully setting up the victory hexes ahead of time. Of course, that makes them pretty predictable, but it also makes for a fun stream. Because Science Teacher asked, what about the bicycles? There are no bicycles here in 1977. Yeah, we are at 382 subscribers on YouTube. We were at 382 earlier tonight, then we lost one, and then we're back up to 382 now. It looks like, yeah, when Hogash rejoined, we got back up to 382. The original goal at the beginning of this year was to get to 400 by the end of the year. No, I'm sorry. The original goal was to get to 300 by the end of the year, when our subscriber total was 198. That was on December 30th. Wouldn't you know it, our goal again was 300. We hit 300 exactly at about 9 p.m. on June 30th. Almost to the hour, exactly halfway through the year. We hit our yearly goal. So obviously we were way ahead of schedule. So then I kind of tentatively put out the unofficial goal. I'm like, well, if we got, you know, 100 new subscribers, 102 actually, if we got 100 new subscribers in the first half of the year, can we get another 100 in the second half of the year? And that's when we were kind of aiming at 400 by December 30th. We'd have to get, obviously, 18 more. That's about one every other day, a little bit less than that. So, yeah, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, and, you know, help us reach our goal. That would be great. We're not trying to make this into any kind of a job or an income or anything. I think you have to get like 1,000 subscribers and have 4,000 hours per month for 6 consecutive months or something. And once you get monetized on YouTube, all that means is that you're gonna, you know, get copyright strikes on every friggin' thing you do. So I'm not even worried about that. It's just a fun goal to have, to see if we can get to 400 by the end of the year. But for now, guys, we're gonna go ahead and, oops, where am I at here? Yeah, this is just a play around scenario. Yeah, so once again, that was Cold War General here on the Sitrep podcast. Hopefully everybody likes it. Yeah, we're just trying to sort of, you know, make sure that we get some content out to you guys. Modern era during, you know, our designated days of the week. So we did Monte Casino on Sunday. We did Panama here on. You know what I should do? I should not play screw around hypothetical games. I should actually set up December 1989 Operation Just Cause. I might do that next. Obviously I have the map for it. And do some part of the American invasion of Panama in December of '89. Cool. Alright, but for now we're going to go ahead and log off. We've been up for just over an hour. If I don't talk to you guys before then, happy Thanksgiving. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and close out the stream. If I talk to you on Sunday, you know, great. If not, no worries. Have a great holiday weekend, and I'll see you on the other side. So thanks again for all the support, and yeah, we'll be in touch with everybody sometime during the week. Take care, everybody, and thanks again for all your support.